we have our meat out. One side is more of a medium. The other side is more of a medium rare. Now for Charlene, we're going to make sure that she gets what is not too medium rare.
Right. That looks delicious.
And then if it gets to a point where you feel like it is, you can always put it into a frying pan and fry it up, or you could stick it in a microwave for just a few seconds and it should be fine. We've got the potatoes that are roasted with all of the olive oil and the rosemary.
That looks yummy.
Yeah, these are great. And you can, if you have leftovers, you can fry them up the next day as hash browns.
Right.
They reheat beautifully. These are potatoes that I make quite often in our kitchen. And then the roasted asparagus.
Looks delicious.
If they're thicker asparagus, they're going to take longer to cook. If they're thinner, they take a little less time. Do you like pico de gallo with your steak?
I do.
Okay, so
A little pico de gallo.
we're going to do a little bit of
Good.
pico de gallo so that you have a little vegetable on your plate with the jalapenos and everything. So
Wonderful.
this is our pretty much a,
That's the
I'd say
finished
like about a
product?
35-40 minute meal.
Wow.
That's the finished product.
And that is a great meal.
It's a healthy
that's
meal.
a healthy meal. It's flavorful, and it's something that you would go to a restaurant and order and not have control over the amount of salt that's in it,
Right.
the temperature it's cooked at, or any of the things that are really healthy and
Right.
important. And speaking of that, I wanted to find out from you, what are some of the things we should look out for when we're choosing a personal chef? Because just because someone says, I'm a personal chef, doesn't mean they are. There are a lot of state requirements and things like that to consider yourself a personal chef. So what are some of the things we should look out for?
That's very true. In the state of California, and every state is different, they all have different laws.
Right.
But in the state of California, we have personal chefs and we have private chefs. Personal chefs generally go into the home and cook
Right.
based on dietary specifications or ease or whatever it is that they need. However, if you are calling yourself a personal chef, you need to be licensed in the city in which you work. You need to be insured. I carry a $2 million liability insurance. You need to understand that as a personal chef, you can only work in your client's home. You cannot work in your own kitchen. You cannot prepare quantities of food in your kitchen.
Okay.
So when I started my business, I literally took everything, like dragged all my bags and all my pots and all my pans and all my spices and food and took them into their home. And a lot of times that can be really cumbersome because it's heavy. Homes are way back. There's cobblestone that things don't, roll over.
Right.
It's difficult. But that's the only legal place you can cook unless you're in a commercial kitchen, a certified commercial kitchen, which is what I have transitioned into, where I deliver. So I no longer go into my clients' homes unless I'm catering. When I cater, I do a lot of cooking directly in their homes, especially for dinner parties. But you want to make sure that the person you're speaking with is licensed,
And they
is
can
insured.
show and produce the license.
Absolutely, is insured.
Show and produce the insurance.
Yes, because you don't want somebody cooking in your home and setting a fire and
That's
then
right.
not having any type of insurance that can, even though you have homeowners, it's not on you.
That's right.
It's on a personal chef. And make sure that they are not cooking in their kitchen. If they say, don't worry about it, I'm cooking for you, I'll deliver the food. That's great, but where are you cooking for me at? Because it's not legal to cook in your own home. Even if you have a state-of-the-art professional kitchen,
Right.
it is not legal to cook in the home, only in the client's home. So that's what you always have to look for. They do not have to be classically trained. I mean, personal chefs can just have a great love for cooking.
Right.
And that's what they want to do, but they do need to understand what it's like to be in business.
Exactly.
And
they
how to
should
run
go
their
to
business.
the the steps necessary to become licensed
Absolutely.
in the state of California, because like you said, all states are different.
Yes,
and
they are.
You can watch this YouTube from anywhere in the world.
Right.
And we are filming in Southern California, so we're going according to the rules here in California.
That's correct. And
So-
it could be quite lenient in some states. It might be even more difficult in
stringent.
others.
So I would say before you choose a professional
personal
chef, make sure you do your background, make sure what your state
Right.
allows, and make sure you check the person out. Also check references.
Absolutely, check references.
See how people are talking about them online. Just do your background homework, because like we said, although a person may love to cook and may be a very good cook, doesn't mean that that's someone that should come into your home and cook, or someone you should trust to bring you meals.
That's right.
Because they have to be in some place that's health and sanitary, right? Health
Right.
and sanitary,
And we have-
commercial kitchens.
We have rules to how we clean.
Right.
So we know how everything is done. We clean up when we leave somebody's home. In my commercial kitchen, we clean up there. But when you go into somebody's home, you literally are cleaning up and leaving it spotless, or at least the way it was when you got there. And you also make sure everything's sanitary before you start. So there are things we learn as personal chefs, but that the legal part is what you need to know. And remember, this is food you're putting in your stomach.
Right.
This is, people come to personal chefs, either they don't want to cook or they have dietary issues, and they need someone to be very aware of that and to apply it to their foods. And if they are not, if they don't have that skill set and you haven't checked them out, you might be getting gluten in something.
That's
They may
right.
not realize that MSG, I have a client that's terribly allergic to MSG, and MSG is hidden in many different ingredients. So for that client, I am in a store twice as long because I am reading every single label. A personal chef who has not gone through any kind of training to be a personal chef, or does not have his or her food handler's license, that's another
Yes.
thing. They have to be licensed to handle food. So they have to have their food safety handler's license as well. Anyone in a restaurant, anyone working anywhere in a restaurant has to have that as well. There are documents that they should be able to produce, and references, you're right. Talk to
Yes.
the people that my clients are, since I started, basically, and I'm thrilled to always offer references. They
Right.
should be very thrilled to offer references.
Exactly.
And I always tell people, even if I'm not the chef they're going to pick for whatever their reason is, talk to me about whatever you want to know, and I will make sure you understand who's going to feed your family,
Right.
and that you're doing your due diligence.
Exactly. And I just want to say thank you for coming
You're
on the
welcome.
show and for showing us how to prepare a wonderful, delicious, healthy meal. And she's going to show us in a moment how to, take this meal and turn it into a second meal, which is with burritos.
Right.
For another night's dish. So,
I'll do that right now.
Okay.
So what I did basically is I took some of the meat that we cut up, made it into a small dice, sitting in the pan, frying it up a little bit just to get it warm. And then this needs to be heated as well. These are large, I like to use the large flour tortillas. You only need to really heat them for about 15 seconds on each side so that they are easier to use. Otherwise, they're not very easy to use. And I like to do that. So I let it cook just a little bit. You can do this with corn tortillas if you prefer corn. The thing with corn tortillas is they're better if you steam them or you put them in some sort of like enchilada sauce or liquid and dip them. Otherwise, they're brittle. You can also do this in the microwave. You can do it for about 10
Right.
seconds in the microwave and they'll heat it up just fine. Okay. So let me get a plate
Top.
up here. Put this down here. Thank you. Okay, so we've got this. We're going to take the meat. You don't want to overstuff your burrito. That is the worst thing you can do because it will never close. If you ever done them yourself and rolled them and then everything rolls out. So you really, truly do not want to overstuff. So we're only putting just a nice little line kind of closer to the outside of the edge. To this, we're going to add some beans.
Yummy.
Not everyone likes beans, so it's always good to ask. You can add black beans, you can add refried beans, you can add any kind of bean you want. We're gonna add a little bit of guacamole. And you can see it starts filling up. It doesn't look like a lot, but it starts filling up. That's the beauty of burritos. And now we have our pico de gallo, and you can see it's starting to create a liquid. Some people don't like that liquid, and if you don't like it, just drain it. I happen to like it. I use it as a salad dressing. It's healthy. That's right. So we're just going to put a little bit of that in there. If you like a little bit more cilantro, add some of your cilantro leaves. You can add lettuce to this. You can add sour cream. And we're going to do a little bit of cheese on this one. Now, we won't be putting cheese in yours.
Right.
Because you can't have it. And then what I like to do is I kind of try and, let's move this out of the way. This for you. Kind of like a rake it back.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're going to fold in the side. You're going to fold in the other side.
I can see what you mean by not overfilling it.
If you overfill it, you're just never going to be able to get this technique down. And you have a burrito.
Wow, that looks really good.
And all you do is just eat it, pick it up and hold it, put some foil around it, put it in the oven if you'd prefer. And that's your burrito.
Look at that. Excellent.
And we went ahead and prepared Charlene's because she cannot have cheese. So
Right.
she's using the leftover asparagus, the potatoes. She's got a burrito, and she's got some of the guacamole and the pico de gallo to use as well. So that's basically how you do a burrito. And you can use chicken for this. You can use shrimp for this. It doesn't matter if you bake a chicken, or if you, let's say you just want to have a lot of chicken for the week in different dishes. You'll cook up a lot of boneless, skinless chicken breast. Takes no time at all. Same thing, just cut it up, shred it, and then you've got your meat. Shrimp, anything, fish. It's the same sort of thing, but all stuff you're using the night before, basically, and then turning it into a completely different meal day two.
That's amazing. You know, I just want to encourage those who have a love for cooking to, if they think that this is a profession for them, just check with the rules for California to make sure that you are legal, that you get your license and your insurance and all the things that you're going to need in order to become at least licensed kitchen cook, right? Ooh.
Right. To become
A professional.
a professional personal chef.
Right.
And it's a great profession.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of work. I got into it very late in life, but something that was, again, in my bucket list of things that I wanted to do. And I'm grateful that I did it, but it's physical.
Yes.
It's physical. It's very difficult to get a commercial kitchen. I was very fortunate to get one. And if you're carrying all these things, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm not 30 years old, but I love it. I love my clients. It's incredibly rewarding, and it's always creating. You're always creating things. This is the berry crisp, and
Yes, it looks delicious.
it's warm. You can eat this cold. You can eat this hot. Excuse me. It doesn't really matter. I don't have any whipped cream on top of this because we have somebody here that can't eat whipped cream, so no need to tempt them with it. But this, let me see if I can probably see.
Do you want me to get one
Maybe
of
a
the plates
little,
out of your
yeah, maybe a
counter?
little bowl or
Okay.
something, and we'll just lift some of this out. This is healthy too. You can make this significantly healthier than I did. You do not have to add that amount of sugar in it. The oatmeal's good for you. It's a good grain. Thank you. And cinnamon, there's a little bit of brown sugar you can add. You can add any kind of sugar that you want. But you can add Splenda, Trivia, it's just up to you. But it still has this wonderful crust that's flavorful and crunchy, and then you also have all these great berries that are terrific. And there is, like I said, there is no sugar in the berries, so I'm not putting any additional sweetener. So that's dessert.
Wow, and our full meal. So
Your
now
full meal.
I want you to make sure you tell our listeners how they can get in contact with you if they want to hire a professional.
You can call me if you'd like.
Yes.
My you want my number?
Sure.
Okay, it's 213-590-8550.
Right.
I have a website, www.savoryeatsbybeth, and you can leave me a comment there. And I have a Facebook page, which is www.facebook, I think / or /, I'm not sure which, Savory Eats by Beth.
And I'm sure we can Google you also.
You can Google me. Absolutely. That's probably the easiest ways to Google me. I am registered with the American Personal Private Chef Association, and I am also a graduate of Escoffier. So you'll find, I actually have an article with Escoffier. So if you Google me, you'll find the article they did after I graduated on people with dietary specifications. And I'm always happy to just talk. You don't have to hire me, but I'm certainly happy to give you what information I have so that I'm sure you're getting the right thing or you're asking the right questions.
And there are menus on your website.
There's lots of
also.
menus, plus we have menus that you want. If you have favorite
Right.
recipes, I'm happy to make them.
Okay. Well, this is Charlene with Lunch with the Finance Bunch, and I want to thank everyone for listening. Make sure you check out us on YouTube. We have our own YouTube channel. It's Lunch with the Finance Bunch. You can follow us on Twitter. You can want to be on our Facebook page. We have Instagram. So let us know how we're doing. We love to be contacted by you, and let us know. So this is Charlene with Lunch with the Finance Bunch. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you again, Beth, for being my guest.
Absolutely.
You
Thank
were
you.
wonderful.
Thank you for having me.
Definitely.
It was a lot of fun.
We'd love to have you back sometime around maybe Thanksgiving to give us some tips.
Definitely. That
Okay,
would be
sounds
great.
good.
Thank you.